Yeah.
terrifying news of what is going on in India. I mean, 300,000 infection a day, thousand of deaths. What is the situation there? The
That's what they say.
situation.
That's what they say, 300,000, but it's more than 300,000.
Yeah,
That's what is
they
recorded.
counted.
It's somewhere on more than 10 times to the actual number the government showing.
What really hit home for me was they were saying, and this is the numbers that they actually have, not the actual numbers.
Yeah.
Somebody in India is dying every 4 minutes of COVID.
It's because obviously you can only assess them if you test them. If you don't test them, you will never know.
Yeah.
So Simon,
all of our prayers are heading east.
Simon, what have you done? What did they do to you?
Nothing. What?
I mean,
they did something to you. We are live, by the way. We are live, by the way, on the group. So.
Which vaccine did you do?
What? Oh, no, they gave me the AstraZeneca.
Is the main one.
Yeah, the Quebec and the Canadian government have had they were up to speed getting the vaccines into the cities and everything.
In the UK,
but there was an opportunity to get vaccinated without an appointment, but it was I was thinking I was in quarantine for 14 days, right? And it ended Friday at 12 noon. I was in Europe. So and Friday at 2, I said, I'm going to go and get vaccinated. And Friday evening, they were saying that there was no more vaccine for people who didn't have a meeting.
An appointment.
So I was really lucky. I got in just last batch. So
well, here, I mean, for once, I have to say I'm very lucky to be in the United Kingdom. Here, almost everybody is vaccinated.
Yeah, well, Boris didn't have a choice. He had to figure out how to make sure you guys
didn't throw him with him. Into the cage. It's always thanks to the nurses and the doctors and the NHS system that is working really much. Well, hi to Senya, hi to Fatima, hi to Pedro. Pedro,
hello everyone.
Yes, I'm here.
Year ago. This is like this. We've been dating for a year now. Is this? You think this is serious?
Too long. My wife is very jealous now.
I love
my nose looks that big.
Who have you been dating for a year, Simone?
You, all of you. I've been dating everybody on PWP.
Yes, yeah, okay. And this is our first.
Don't tell Melanie though. Don't tell Melanie.
Pedro, where are you? I cannot recognize that room. Where the hell?
Oh yeah, this is my basement. I put the office together down here because it's isolated from the kids. They are upstairs. I'm downstairs. Nobody bothers me.
I thought I didn't recognize the room.
Hey, can I ask you guys to stop for a moment and let me tell we are live on the group, and this is our PWB open session after a very long time. Welcome, Emma. How are you? Hi. And thank you everyone who has joined us. Akshay, Pedro, Mauro, Sanya, and Zaid. You're not live on video, but thank you for joining in. And say hi everyone, and let's now go crazy and chat and talk as long as we can.
Ciao.
Hey,
did anybody bring the popcorn?
I
brought the beer.
I got the whiskey.
Well, I'm limited. I'm taking tea.
Yes. Yes. We are, you see the people with the tea. Okay, that is the British creeping in, even if you don't want to.
So a lot has happened till the last. I mean, since the last time we went on a live session, we just celebrated the World Book Day again. I mean, we celebrated it last year, so it's been a year now. Tbilisi is now the new World Book capital. Last year it was Kuala Lumpur. Congratulations, Tbilisi. Simon is as handsome as he is. Fatima is as beautiful she is right now. Emma is as charming as she was. Mauro is phenomenal.
Mauro's Mauro.
Phenomenal.
Why
And-
what to say, that comes out often. Simon,
And-
Simon, you better be back. The first time I see you, you better watch it out.
And Pedro, you have been sensational with the food you have been laying out on the Govis
Thank
Stadium.
you. I'm going on a diet, so.
Yeah,
My-
but
my-
you know, Prashant, this year my nose looks bigger. Look at this. I'm trying to.
Did you get a nose job or something? What do you think?
I think still is beautiful, Fatima.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. That's your
Absolutely.
How many?
Absolutely.
How many are we now in the group? How many?
We are 3980. We're about to reach 4,000. And let me just give a huge shout out to Akshay. Akshay has been from the beginning, and I mean he has been welcoming new friends and sending out the birthday records. He's been a little shy, but I know Akshay from a very, very long time. But hi Akshay, welcome to our PWB Open session.
Thank you. It's my really pleasure.
My bestest friend Pablo is here, and he just celebrated his happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Hi,
You look old.
I'm old.
You're vintage. You're vintage.
The cattle block here,
That's
honestly.
You're more expensive now. You like a good wine.
Yes.
And Prashant has less hair.
Yeah.
It's
Prashant
good.
has
I mean,
much less hair.
it's amazing. I've been cycling from last 1 week, and I can actually feel the pollution now, right? Really creeping in my head.
You look like you have multiple split personality. You look dangerous now.
See, Sanya, however dangerous I look, but if I'll come and say, give me your money, give me your money, I'll still be very funny. Because no, I mean, an Indian guy being a dangerous creature, that can never happen.
You just look dangerous, that's all.
Yeah. Give me your money.
Dangerous with his finger.
Yeah.
You over there. Don't do that.
Somebody's gonna hurt
Let
real
go of
bad.
those candies. Let go of those candies.
Now, come on. He looks serious. He looks very respectable. Someone that you have to.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
That is bullshit. No, that
I
is
mean,
not even if you
bullshit.
Man,
take a contract. If you
Italian
sign-
mushrooms must be really good.
Come on.
Yeah.
The fact is that if you sign a contract with Prashant in this way, and he looks like that, then he looks straight into your eyes. And
You don't believe him.
You have to give
You
him
pay him
money.
twice.
Everything.
You pay him twice as much as he asks. You worry about your children.
But that never happened. I want to see that happening, paying me twice as much as I asked. So
What a
wonderful.
crazy year this has been.
Oh yeah.
But what a wonderful year it's been. I mean, I don't think I've never met as many people online as this. I've never had as many meetings as I do now.
And still no book fairs.
And still know about fairs.
Yes. Yes.
Is it going to happen this year? Any book fair? Any thoughts on that?
Frankfurt.
I think
Gonna
Frankfurt.
happen?
I think
Frankfurt, I think just
Yeah,
if the
Frankfurt.
situation in Germany changes dramatically because they are not in a good place again. So,
Yeah, definitely.
True, you're right. Every week.
It's
Yeah.
the
Okay, let's see. Let's see if Tokyo happens in terms of Olympics. I mean, let's, if
Sure,
the
sure.
Olympics happen in
It
Tokyo,
will. But what happened apparently to get on with Tokyo is that they're gonna do it without the public. They're just gonna have the event on the sport, and that's it. Because I mean, we think, Japan, Korea, blah blah, advanced. I don't know if you had meeting with Korean and Japanese. They just started it. The vaccination program, they just started.
Yep, Japan is,
They're
yeah.
so behind. They're so behind. This is why I think the Europeans are all complaining, but I have to say they are in a much better place than most anyway.
Hey, come on, more or less. My mother is 70, and just this week she was called in to get vaccination. So it's.
But I have to say,
it's not good.
I agree on that. But I think Italy is more or less on the same trajectory. But I can see that Italy now is speeding up really much.
Yeah, we are speeding up also, but
we go from 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a day now. Okay, so
that's good.
Getting there. It's getting where the UK was February, I will say. Okay, so it's gonna soon. Emma, have you been vaccinated?
I have.
No.
One shot.
One shot.
What did you get?
AstraZeneca.
I got Moderna.
I will get one too.
I got Moderna because I cheated at the hospital.
What did you do?
Please,
Of course
please
you
tell 4,000 people who are listening to you right now and everybody else in their homes how you cheated the system in Great Britain.
I didn't want to wait months. Okay. So I said that I have blood circulation problem. So they gave me Moderna instead.
Well, only an Italian or an Indian could do that.
No, he's not an Italian.
I have absolutely no shame of saying it. That I prize the NHS. I was all over the nurses prizes them, chatting on them and being absolutely like they're trying to sell them books, okay, charming them up. And then I said, you've been a wonderful, I have this problem with the circular. We cannot do AstraZeneca. We do you Moderna. Excellent. Done.
Well. Pablo, how's it happen? Where are you right now?
Well, I'm at my mother's house in Guadalajara.
It's a beautiful place. I know this place.
Yeah.
What's the temperature there?
Right now it's gonna be like close to 30, 31 degrees probably. Celsius, of course.
Yes.
In the face.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be pretty cold.
Yeah.
So tell us, how are things down in Mexico?
You mean with
Not the city, the country?
Yeah, no,
Everything.
with the virus.
Yeah, the
well,
virus.
they're vaccinating.
Life.
They're almost. Excuse me.
The virus, your life, the publishing industry. Tell us everything.
Well, that's a lot, but yeah, with the virus, well, everything is like normal life. Everything is open, and that's probably why we are the third country in the world by the number of dead people by the virus. They are going kind of slow with the vaccination, but they have almost completed the vaccination of everybody over 60. And then it's going to be everybody over 50 and then over 40, which is and then the rest of the population, which it's going to happen probably next year. And with the industry is kind of what I've read and what I've heard from colleagues, it's not pretty. It fell, I don't remember how much, but it really, sales fell dramatically last year in Mexico, as well as in almost all Latin America, because there was almost no support from the authorities for the publishing industry. So that's not very good news. And I'm fine. For me, I'm pretty well. Yeah, I can't complain. I have a lot of work. And now I'm enjoying. I wanted to see some friends since everything is open here. I wanted to see some friends, so I came on Friday to see a couple of friends. And we were at an open space place having dinner. Yeah,
wonderful. Now the place you stay in, I don't know if you ever go to Mexico, you should meet Pablo. Go to San Antonio's, and that's the place to be in.
Yeah, that's where I live. I don't live here in Guadalajara. I live in San Antonio, which is like an hour away from here. It's in a lake, a beautiful lake. Yeah, that's where my house is. So if you come and you want to visit, just let me know. I will be more than happy to.
But do you think it's going to happen that we come to Guadalajara this year in December? Do you think so?
Yes, Well, they are pretty sure they are going to have an in-person fair. Yeah. So
I'm not sure.
you're not sure? So. No, that Guadalajara is happening, or that you're coming?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's happening in person.
I'm sure that everything. I'm sure if that happened in person, at least we Indians will not be allowed to travel anywhere. We just got banned by Germany after like slew of countries decide they don't want Indians anymore to visit their country. So I'm not going anywhere this year.
Who is that?
No, that's the thing with the book fair in Guadalajara, and we were talking about this on Friday with my friends. It's like, well, they are doing it if they want to. I mean, if they do it, who's going to attend from outside Guadalajara or Mexico? And I think it's going to be very few people because vaccinations are going too slow, and the problem is not getting inside Mexico because there's almost no control at the airport. You get there, that you just take your temperature and you go straight into the country. There's no quarantine measures, nothing. So that's fine if you want to come, but if you want to go back, most countries have restrictions in place. So if you're going to have to stay 15 days in a hotel going back from Mexico, I don't think that's
that's exactly
economically feasible.
In Canada right now, we are forced to spend 3 nights we're forced to pay 3 nights of hotel, and we have to have a test before getting on the plane, a test as we get off the plane, and if our test is negative, we can leave the hotel, but we've paid for those 3 nights, doesn't matter, and then we're stuck at home for 14 days, and we get a call in 3 times, and then we get a message every day asking, where are you, what are you doing? And so it gets a little expensive.
Yeah, I
think in 2,000 Canadian extra just to go come home. So
in Scotland, I think it's a full 2 weeks of quarantine that you have to be in a quarantine hotel and you have to pay for it.
Hey, Lawrence, hi. Welcome.
With you, Prashant.
You're right,
What is the dog's name?
The issue is not going; it's coming back.
Okay, meet
How's the
Prince.
How's the eye?
Yeah, how's the eye?
Yeah, how's the eye?
Come see, come sa.
No, he hasn't been well.
What is the dog's name?
Meet Prince Pluto Pathak, the first of his name, the eater of bones. No, he's not very interested. His name is Pluto.
Pluto.
Go.
You're a dangerous guy.
But this is why I cannot go to even see my parents in Italy, because you have to do a test before, a test you arrive, a test before you leave, a test before when you arrive, 15 dadays quarantine. It costs you an arm and a leg. And even though we are a country with 60% of the population vaccinated, they are so strict of not allowing people. They don't want people to go abroad because they are so scared of people getting the virus back from abroad. So they don't want us to go anywhere until it's safe to do so, okay? Plus, I think Boris has to do all the hoo-ha because at the moment there is a big scandal every basically day about his money and loan.
Talking about Boris, he needs a haircut.
Boris. Don't get started on Boris.
No, but in Italy is a chaos because now if they let you get out from London, come over to Italy because it is a simple chaos. Because I've been traveling in this period, and well, you just pass in Malpensa in the airport, you just queue, and there are a lot of people cramming and waiting. It's something crazy. In the airport is crazy, and then also the police tell you, well, you should quarantine 2 weeks, okay? Please do. And you say, but I've got a test. I'm okay. I'm negative, and I'm going to make a negative test. Well, you should quarantine. So, and that's Milano, is not Naples, of course.
No.
So,
but apparently at Heathrow is the same mess. They said that Heathrow.
So but the problem, I feel that everywhere, but also I feel that is scaring me, apart of the death, etc., which is horrible everywhere in the world, and is something that we have to are getting acquainted, which is something very strange. We are getting acquainted to have a lot of people dying, and we know that unfortunately that's happening. So I feel that the anthropological ideas are just changing a bit, also the sensitivity of people. So I'm a bit scared of that. And also the fact that, for instance, we have still a curfew from 10 o'clock in the night until 5 o'clock in the morning, which is absolutely crazy because there is nobody around. Today it was a Sunday and you don't find anybody around, even if you are allowed to get out. Because, I mean, of course, you can go to Navili, to some places in Milan where people are crammed because they're just a little place. But generally, people just, they stay home, even if it is a sunny day. And when I said to my friends, I feel that my freedom is really getting, I mean, it's like in a dictatorship, a worldwide dictatorship, because nothing is happening at 12. If I've got friends or something, someone to visit, which is a bit far away, and then I have to stay home at 10 o'clock. Can you imagine? Even during wartime, it was not like that. And the people that I know, not my friends, they say, well, but Silvia, what have you to do between 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the night? Why don't you stay home? I mean, what is your needs to get out?
Ask me what I do from 10 to
I mean,
that's when I do everything.
Come on. Absolutely. So this is something that I believe that really this freedom, space of freedom among us, also the possibility to chat like we are doing that, is not something just, something nice that we say, okay, it is nice, there is this group. It's something that which is helping us really to open up to new challenges, etc., or to know new people, as I did between all of you, that you have beautiful faces, and to make possibly business, etc. Because otherwise our space, freedom of space, generally in the world, I feel really is, I mean, I'm scared. It's like to be in China, somehow, and it's not that different. And also people don't feel the less of freedom, Okay.
Let's not go to China and talk about that, because we will get blocked for some reason on Facebook, and we have already been. So. But yeah, I'm gonna come to Lawrence, and I'm gonna talk to Lawrence, and I'm sorry, Mauro, you want to say something? Go ahead, please.
No, the good thing about the UK is that after months and months, the bookstores finally reopen. Because Emma, how long have they been closed? The bookstores for 6 months almost. I mean, exactly
since just before Christmas, wasn't it? Just before Christmas, they closed everything down.
That's crazy.
That's a long time.
That's crazy. I started a petition right now because we got into our second wave of lockdown, and I wanted to basically, I mean, I've written also to the PMO, the Prime Minister of India, a petition that books are essential and they should allow books to sell during curfew and lockdown.
Will allow in the second phase of the lockdown.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I will
share the documents with you, Prashant. I have the documents with the ministry.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So we would love to see that.
Because the school textbooks is the school session is being started in India, and once the bookshop are closed, how the student will get the books? That's the main issue or a concern for a parent or a school. So that's why they are planning to open the bookshops.
I here in my province, because bookstores are provincial jurisdiction, so in my province it was open and some others might be closed. But I mean, there are two things that contradict themselves. The first one is, why in my country did they keep them open? Why in Belgium did they decide that it was an essential need, but in another country they decided it wasn't? That's the first thing that comes to mind. But the second thing that comes to mind right after that is, I am so glad I'm not responsible for making those decisions, because you must not sleep. You must be every day wondering if the decision you're going to make is going to affect economy, kill people, make your hospitals. I mean, so I'm glad I make picture books.
Yeah, but look, here in Portugal, it was the craziest of decisions, I believe, because we were closed for 2 months because things were very, very, very bad here in January, February, and early March. And then the government did something that was incomprehensible for all of us. They closed the bookshops and they forbidden the sale of books in supermarkets and other places that were open. So the market completely collapsed because online retailers are like 6% of all sales here in Portugal. So it was 2 months of completely and utter disgrace. So I don't think in any other country that happened.
They did that because it was unfair for the booksellers who were forced to be closed to also have books being sold in the supermarkets. I mean, it's bad from the publisher's point of view, but it's a way of not.
I can relate with that, but what they did after that was, well, now let's consider bookshops essential, so bookshops can be open and the big retailers can sell the books too. Look, there aren't many readers here in Portugal. There aren't queues of people on the doors of bookshops to enter. There aren't concentrations of multitudes of people inside bookshops. So do let them be open, but do let us sell, because supermarkets here are around 40% of the business. And independent bookshops are like, unfortunately, are 15. So there's no logic on that.
No, I totally agree with Pedro. I mean, that's what is happening here, because superstores are the places where the most of the books sell, and primarily we sell online, and especially when they say that books are not essential and they are not delivering it online, we are losing at least 80-85% of our revenues. So I mean, there has to be some sort of mechanism where we can sell books. The worst part is, and I've been talking about it from last 1.5 years everywhere, that books in India, and I don't know in which other country, but books in India is still considered as a trade. We are not an industry. We are not considered big. So as long as we are considered as a trade, we will never be considered in any policies. Anything which will happen will never, we will never be part of a program where they'll say, let's go and support this thing. And I don't know if anybody from India is hearing from the publishing side. Akshay is here. And
I'm totally agreeing with you, Prashant.
Akshay is here. And we are trying so hard, and we reach out, we write letters, and we say that at least, printing is an industry, paper is an industry, publishing is not.
Printing is an industry, book binding is an industry.
Book binding is an industry, but
is not an industry.
But here's the thing, and you know what, you're talking from an Indian point of view, and just last week, the French World was talking about literature and reading, and so the North Africans and the French Africans and Belgium and Switzerland and France and Quebec, we're all talking about. And one of the things that comes out, and I think it goes back to what you're saying, is we've not managed, and I think international, the IPA can certainly work on that, is we've not managed to make it clear to government that reading is as important as drinking water, as breathing, as having a roof on your head, because reading is the start of understanding what's happening around you, of being able to be mobile, to be able to converse. And as long as we don't have that in the essence of our society, we should be fighting for that. And because as soon as it becomes essential, then publishers are needed, because it's a part of, we need water plants and we need publishers. We need to have those books out there for people, be it digital or audio or Braille or print. We need that, more than we need.
But the first phase is to create the readers, because that's the biggest problem here in Portugal and probably around the world, low literacy. Because if you don't have the readers, you can have a bookshop on every corner that nobody will buy them.
But you don't have readers because society has made it irrelevant. If you have governments and societies saying reading is an essential part of our system, and it's what's going to make sure that we progress and we involve in the same way, I think we need to have governments that make reading essential in their program. I always talked about having and this is something that I've had for many years, sort of like a United Nations commissioner to reading. and it becomes an essence in itself. So you want to be investing in prisons because we need prisons. There are bad people, but how is reading involved in your reflection about those prisons? You're building new hospitals, great. How is reading involved in there? Can we have public libraries in hospitals so that people who are there for a long time can have access to books? If you don't make books important, people will not consider it important. And I think we need to change the government's mind as to, and they all want great employees. They want people functional who will be able to to ensure that the society is working well. That's what governments want. It starts with reading. I think
right now during the pandemic, you can't donate books to the hospitals because they're afraid of contagion. I mean, even though we're pretty sure that it's not with physical.
It's not. I mean, that was true a year ago, but it's certainly less true now. So.
But they haven't allowed it. But I mean, one of the interesting things, my husband works as a nurse at the ICU of a children's hospital, and they allow. They were trying to get publishers to donate ebooks because they have physical devices and they can clean a device between patients much more easily. And so. Right. Rather than having the devices only have games on them, they wanted to have ebooks as well. And so, that was a big thing. Just talking about books, though, some good news. So here in Spain, we're very bad in terms of the virus. I think only 7.8% of the population has been vaccinated. So, I mean, we're trailing terribly. But on Friday, which was San Jordi, which is when you're supposed to give a book and a rose to your loved ones, over 1 million books were sold on that one Friday.
Wow.
So, and talking to both independent publishers and independent bookstores, the pandemic has been better than expected because no one was traveling and no one was going out to dinner, and a lot of people had time and they put that money into buying books. Sort of that middle class person who would have been spending money elsewhere wound up buying more books and having more time to read. And so things are, on that level, things were better. And also a lot of backlist sales seem to have happened that, it's not just front list that's been moving. So.
And you had a good year. And you had a good year, Lawrence, right?
What you said.
So
a good year. It was a weird year. I have not sold a new book project since 2019, so just before the pandemic.
And tell us about
I've sold a lot of rights to existing books, but publishers are being very cautious about taking new projects. At least that's what I found for me. So people are like, okay, it's just won another award, we'll take it, things like that. So rights sales have been happening for books that have already been successful in different markets, but I haven't had new projects be picked up.
And tell us about the controversies you have created in different countries.
The controversies with the board books. Unfortunately, there was in Slovenia, there was a right-wing party that called for a boycott against them. But at the same time, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen because those board books, which have same-sex families, are coming out in Russian in 2 different editions, one in St. Petersburg and one for Russian speakers outside of Russia being published in Berlin. And I think that's going to be problematic.
That'll be wonderful. That'll be wonderful to follow. So whatever you're doing, it's really amazing. And I know there are a few sort of people I've been following very closely from last 1 year. You being one, Mauro being one, Sanya being one. So and I think what you're doing is phenomenal. It's exceptional. And whatever you have created is something, and people don't realize it now. And it's such a shame that after 50 years, we'll realize that the sort of value you have brought in. So it's really amazing. And I mean, as a group, I would just like to thank you what you're doing. It's really amazing. I don't know. I mean, what else to say? Let me take a sip on that. Pablo is saying something. He's shaking his head like he's doing head banging.
Hey guys, you are all invited to Slovenia because at the moment we don't have curfew anymore, and we can go for holidays to Croatia and to Tenerife, and we have finally opened restaurants, and we have opened bookshops, and we have opened schools after 5 months. So come. I already promised to Fatima that we will build a Suez Canal between Italy
Slovenian one.
And with Mauro, we will launch a love boat and Mauro will cook there.
But we have just so everybody knows, I made a promise to Senia that the first time I'm gonna go to see my parents, because my parents live not far from the Slovenian border. I will take a car in the morning just to be in Ljubljana at lunchtime to have lunch together.
Yay.
But that is a promise. But it's funny you say, Lawrence, about that sales and the things. I notice exactly the same things. I have to say, opening a business yourself is never easy, and the first year hasn't been very good. But I mean, on a pandemic year is even worse. But I have to say, February arrived, and I think I started to have all my London and Bologna meeting, and one after another. And the first question for me was, how was 2020? How was and the answer I got on the 95% of the time was, it hasn't been the disaster that we were all expecting to be.
Yes.
Actually, in some countries, and Italy is one of them, the publishers were quite happy. They went up the sales. And I think figured today that the first 3 months of 2021, the sales in Italy are also up. But I agree with Simone. It's scandalous that certain government went one way and certain government the other. For me, it was heartbreaking to see supermarket in Portugal, just because the bookshop were closed, the supermarket in Portugal, with the area of the book sealed and taped like they were weapon, like they were dangerous things. They were talking about books, and it like shocking to see when, for once, I have to say, the Italian government was one of the first that declared the bookstores essential. Not even France did that until October, November, which actually I have to say is remarkable.
Well, I mean, it takes such a strength that you started books everywhere right after pandemic, and what you're doing is amazing. And that's what I said when I was talking to Lawrence. Everybody is going through their own time, but what's really important is that we saw Mitzi today amidst all our talk, and we were really glad that Mitzi was between us. Is she around, Sanya, or is she not? Oh, wow. We have 2 more people. Oh, okay. By the way, before we get on to other conversation, Zaid, you have been around here for long. Say my hi to Zaid. Zaid, do you want to say something? At least unmute yourself, say something. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself. Yeah. You said a lot of things, but we could not.
Is it right now? Hi, everybody. At the first, my name is Ziad.
Ziad.
Yeah.
Ziad.
I'm sorry, Ziad.
No problem. Thank you for this good conversation. I can say the problem for me is more than every one of you, because I already moved to Istanbul from Egypt, and COVID closed all the world in front of me. Okay, the difficulty is, the difficulty is already about marketing, about publishing. Already I am a Syrian. My country, as Syria right now, is open. There is many festivals in the capital, Damascus, right now. But here in Istanbul is already sometime closed at weekends, 3 days closed already. And I prefer and find the suggesting that we can use the market, supermarket is good, not bookshops right now.
It's just such a difficult situation, and I hope you're enjoying Istanbul. I mean, that's one of my favorite cities. I was watching Elise's responses, and Elise said, Lawrence, she's really proud of you and Alina's book. And Ziad, thanks for joining in. And I'm gonna bring in our own personal Superman and Ravan from UAE. Unmute yourself and let's.
Yeah, I think Rawan should start.
I can't. I was trying to unmute
Ladies
myself.
first.
I just wanted to come and say hi. I haven't seen everyone in so long. There are people I don't know here much. I know through Facebook.
So Ravan is like, I haven't seen you from such a long time, but there are so many people I don't know you.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
Makes sense. I think that's actually logical. A lot of you I've never seen, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, well, whatever you want, make whatever you want out of it. But it's so nice to see everyone. And
Welcome, Rawan. We miss you so much.
I miss you too. I feel like I haven't been able to join any of these like Zoom socials just because you spend all your day doing them, and then you want to meet people, but it's just never the right time, it seems.
Sharif looks like he's joining the full virtual with that.
Hi, Sharif. Sharif, what was that virtual thing about? I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We just started on Wednesday, and we will really start with just orientation. It's really, but it kind of gives me a headache doing this. You have this on your face. It's just too much. But yeah, I have the whole material, and they gave us an iPhone as well, but they will take all back. So probably I will lose something. But
what's the idea? Is it that you all travel to a country virtually and sit in a conference room, or do you go to the wild?
This is they encourage you to do all this and to try it with friends and family and kids and everything, but also they want to see how this can work in publishing. So we're gonna do some activity that has to do with publishing in the virtual world and how the future of publishing in virtual, which is kind of strange. And I was really amazed that they decided for us as a group from Egypt who did the IVLP. I don't know if you're familiar with this program, or should I explain it to people?
Explain it.
I wouldn't know if you explained it, but go on.
It's a program done by the American Embassy all over the world for 70 years now. And in Egypt also for the same time. They send people from all over the world, from all over industries as well, like lawyers, everything. Oh, sure. You want to say something?
Mauro is saying bye, and he's cooking Thai green curry with jasmine rice. Oh, he's gone.
Great. So yeah, they send people for training or for networking. They are so proud that 80% of the leaders around the world has attended this program. So this is why they call it International Visitors Leadership Programs. And they get the people from different industries. And for us, it was the first time they do publishing, and now the first time they do publishing in the virtual world. So that's quite unique. And also, I have some news for the PWB. It will be featured with us for the Frankfurt Book Fair Signals of Hope series that we're doing. We will do a whole session with Fatima here. Hi, Fatima.
Hi, Sharif. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, it will be great to have a full episode or a full session about networking and the importance of networking in publishing. And we will take PWB as an example of doing this through the pandemic. So you'll be all invited to share and to attend, of course. But we'll do it, I think, after Ramadan here, because we can't function during Ramadan, obviously. But yeah, we'll be arranging this, and you'll be the star here on stage for a while, and Fatima will be your queen there.
Yeah, if Simon allows me.
On that note, I'm gonna say salute, Simon.
Unless he speaks Arabic.
Sharif, Is
You want
there,
to join?
how is the virtual,
Shwiya.
how is the virtual publishing working, Sharif? How will it work? I mean, the only person I know who's doing something in virtual, there's a Canadian illustrator named Debbie Owie, and she's creating, she mostly does picture books, but she's also creating now using VR in 3 dimensions. So she's now learning how to make 3-dimensional illustrations. She's the only person I know who's doing this VR.
Apparently what they say is the VR is the next big thing after the internet. So it will be, I mean, as you know, Oculus is bought by Facebook. So Facebook will be virtual, or it is already virtual. There is this option. We tried it. It's so big now and so experimental. So as they explained to us, which I found it very interesting, it's like holding a Nokia now, you know, with the cell phones. So what we have now in technology concerning VR is the Nokia that you have 6,000, I don't know, 110, the very famous one. And there will be the iPhone coming. So we are now in the experimental period of just the basics. Like we have, it's really good when I did like roller coasters and you do like city visits and you do some games.
Not make you feel like sick, I imagine.
More, if you know what I mean, but I can't do this here. But yeah, there is, it's very, very real when you go in and you look around, and they have some headphones, so you get the whole thing, and you shake hands with people and you get a vibration when you do this.
Oh,
so they are really working.
Wow, that's so
creepy.
That's
already.
creepy.
Too creepy for me.
Yeah,
No,
it goes to
not
that
for me.
extent.
And how does it handle text? Does it handle text in scripts that go left to right and right to left as well? Or, I mean, especially
right now you can do whatever. I mean, it's not that you go and read something there. It's all and actually some of the things that you can do them from your laptop as well. Because we have one member who didn't get the Oculus, and he's visiting from the laptop. Of course, it's not as experienced, but it was really strange that I'm sitting in my chair and jumping, like teleporting to another place and meeting friends around and talking and sitting on a chair and stuff like that. It was, a bit like even disturbing somehow that would it be like this? It's like kind of the Matrix, you know?
Star Trek.
Scary. Like I've got to run, have dinner. Good to see everyone.
Bye, Lawrence.
Bye.
Bye, Lawrence.
It's like all these virtual reality. What's it called? The games that the boys play, like what's the new ones? I can't remember. But like where you make friends and you talk and you chat, but just like in a VR mode. No.
That's part of it. Of course, you can do this, but there is more to this apparently. In even training and stuff, they showed us what they did with team building, training, stuff. They are really, how do you say, improvising when it comes to publishing as well. They want to see how to be used. So they are going to show us what is it, and they're going to give us some ideas and what people are doing, and let's see where we can go from there. So they are so much, how do you say, emphasizing what we're doing and monitoring what we're doing as well, because it's, would it work, or would we take it one step further?
I mean, of course it will work, but I don't think it's,
I'm wondering how is this, I mean, what you're telling us is spooky, but at the same time it can be extremely interesting. Now, what about reaching out to those who don't have access to, does this become maybe an opportunity for those who have no access to books or bookstores? Or, I mean, there are many countries where the access to books is limited by bad distribution, so are we looking at an opportunity?
More or less, like if you don't have a smartphone, you lose access to a lot of apps and things. And we see it that they're waiting for the technology, and they said that Apple is working so hard on this. It will be like normal glasses, because also this is too big to handle. kind of. It's
I
they made it lighter, easier, but still it's too big to handle. And you can wear your glasses, by the way, in it if you want to.
I think it's
There is
quite, I
an
think it's quite
extension that
possible.
you add
I think it's
where you
quite
can
possible,
add your
Sharif.
glasses.
It's quite possible. And what from the way I'm looking at right now, we are not talking about going to the masses. We are talking about doing it B2B from the first instance, and that's where it is possible because a lot of people have access to that sort of technology. What's more interesting is that we feel that it's really difficult. But when I see a 23-year-old me or a 20-year-old me or a 15-year-old me running around with a headphone and a VR Oculus and playing all these wonderful VR games, I mean, they don't have any issues. They don't see any difficulties. And for them, it's not surreal. For me, it's surreal. For me, it's surreal that I go into a VR environment and I basically shake your hand and it vibrates. But they've already been doing it from last 5 or 6 years. And for them, when they get into the mainstream and they start working, when they become a publisher, when they get into publishing and they start using these tools, for them, it will be like something which they have been doing it from last 20 years. The same way I've been using a phone. So,
I think it's like this because when I tried it with little kids, the smaller, the easier they used it actually. And they functioned immediately. You just give them the thing and I leave them and I found them staying for 1 hour without saying, I don't know where they are even inside it. What I will try to do, and I'm arranging for this, I will try to get you some...
Bye, Pedro.
Bye, Pedro. Yes. I will try to do some presentation for you. I'll get some kind of videos of what we're doing because they are recording some stuff and we're documenting what we're doing. And maybe by the end, we can do some session and we can show this for all publishers also sharing the experience, because I asked if it's possible to share and they said, yeah, they'd love to, for things to be shared, also the experience. So maybe when we're a bit into it and we see how far is it, I'll get some material as well, because speaking like this doesn't convey how it is. And also, it's the fun thing, you know, the movie of Jennifer Lawrence, the one in space. What was it?
In space?
In space.
Yeah, they got.
I think this was a few years ago. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's very famous.
Yeah,
the one they were sent to space and they woke up wrong at the wrong time and they had to live or find what they're going to do.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called. I have to find
they had a waiter and you can only see his upper body, and that's how we look like. We don't have legs actually when we walk in this virtual reality. So it really looks creepy. And you have two hands, like only the palm of the hand and the body, the upper body. And then when they take a photo of us and you take selfies and stuff there, and when you take a photo, you find there are legs and arms that you don't see. So it's
Passengers,
kind of,
that's what the movie is called.
Passengers, yes.
I had to look it up.
You're my girl.
So
yeah, it's very weird. The look itself, it's like, you know, you build your own avatar and you select what you want to wear and blah, 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 all this stuff. But then it really looks also creepy and freaky somehow.
Can I share a story that's like a little bit off topic, but it's really interesting that you're explaining this VR thing. So it's I don't want to creep anyone out, but maybe I'm behind on this. Anyway, so last week I was at a dinner and I had just met a person there, a lady, and she was, you know, we were talking about normal stuff, and I asked her about her relationship status. And so she told me she was dating someone. And I said, okay, yeah, so, you know, what's this person's name? What do they do? And she tells me this person is an AI. And I go, like, I stopped there for a second. I'm like, what? And she goes, it's an artificial intelligence, like a virtual significant other.
Software.
Sorry?
Weird.
Software.
And so she was telling me about it, and I got very curious, and I went on the website, the app, And this stuff is real. Like there's avatars, and you can buy a virtual. Like there's more than 8 million subscribers to that
Wow.
platform, having virtual relationships. Like it's already happening. You know. VR and publishing, and I was listening to that girl's story, and she's not this girl is not a young person. I mean, well, she's young, but she's in her late 30s, so she's not in the that generation that's just exploring the internet.
Actually, it's like the movie Her.
It's like
also.
exactly,
It's like Siri.
exactly. And
yeah,
she was showing me,
fall
so
in
you
love
can.
with Siri.
So you can
And I've seen a
avatar.
documentary on Netflix which talks about the same thing, where people have these virtual girlfriends in Japan, and they're actually dating and they don't want to get married.
Yeah, check. It's called it's replica.com with a K.
So here's a question. 10,
What's
10,
the
15,
name
20
of the
years from
app?
now there will be divorces.
Replica.
Buenos días,
Replica.
señora. ¿Cómo se llama?
Hola, mamá. Sí. Me llamo, my name is Graciela.
Hola,
Graciela.
Hola.
Hello.
She's one of the most amazing women in Mexico, by the way.
Oh,
if you're in Guadalajara,
I can see.
and
You look
have
so
not seen
beautiful.
Chela,
Oh, thank you.
if you're in Guadalajara and you have not seen Chela, then you have not seen Guadalajara.
Exactly.
Forget the
There you
fucking
go.
lake pake.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
come with us. Come to visit us.
Yeah. Well, they said your house is beautiful, so
Yeah,
I'm just passing
We
on
are
to that.
happy to have you. You look so beautiful.
Thank you.
Fatima,
Yeah.
wait till you eat the food.
Oh, I want to eat the food.
Ask Sharif. He's
Yeah,
like,
lovely,
I want
lovely,
to
lovely.
eat.
Okay.
When are you inviting me?
Yes, of course. Sure, you only that.
I think that, yeah, they are the ones
Only
who work
them.
here in the house.
Okay.
I'll be back. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
back.
Yes,
That's not a
please.
problem.
We don't know when, but yeah.
As soon as the first ship lets me travel to Mexico, I'm gonna be there.
Yes. So this happen. Well, probably next year, maybe.
Maybe.
Hopefully this one.
I think it will
Maybe
be
this,
Emirates
no?
who will be guest of honor, huh, Rawan?
Sorry.
Sharjah will be guest of
yeah.
honor in Guadalajara. next
Yeah,
year.
but it's I think it was postponed to 2022 now. So.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, we
Pablo,
postponed
I'm coming next year to taste the food, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Wow.
whatever it takes to bring you here.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Signora, congratulazioni per la casa bellissima e le piante bellissime.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Parents and home
Grazie,
and
grazie. Grazie.
Oh, parla
Is your
italiano.
house. Is your house.
Oh, thank you. We will make a fantastic meeting there.
Whoever of you who come here, you're welcome here.
Yes, yes, of course. Of course.
I'm coming.
Okay.
All right, can you get your agenda out, Pablo? We're going to be checking our dates right now and booking our flights.
Yeah, just come
Right,
because
I'm
I don't
picking
live
up.
here
I'm
anymore,
picking up
so
November.
talk to her.
End of
Yes,
November,
of
I'll be
course.
there.
I would like.
You know the best part is of course Chela, but Pablo also drives a red car, which is Chela, and he takes you to Lake Chapala.
Okay.
Que nos
Well,
vamos
if
a
you're-
echar la
if you're in
casa por la
Mexico, then-
ventana.
You can come to North America. I mean, if you're in Guadalajara, you might as well come to Montreal right after.
Why not?
Or actually, do it the other way around. You come to the Salon du Livre de Montréal in November, and then we go out. We pass by Sharjah, and then we go to Guadalajara.
Why not?
Okay. I did
Okay,
my.
It's a bit of a detour
Okay,
going
see
to
you.
Sharjah, but it's
See
worth
you
it.
soon. See you soon. I hope that.
Arrivederci.
Hasta la vista.
Arrivederci.
So I gotta ask, what's going to happen in 20 years when an artificial intelligence asks for divorce and custody of the children.
Have you watched the movie Her, where she
No, I
hunts
don't
him
know,
after he
no.
breaks up with her? Yeah,
I
that's
have to see it
what.
then, eh?
Watch
Okay.
it, and then yeah.
No,
But
but actually, there are now some curses. For instance, in the Vatican in Rome,
I'm
the
gonna,
Pope
but
asked whether
to
some
to to
curses
to,
can be
to
fixed.
answer sorry to answer Simon's question, I'm gonna give it to the AI, because I believe that if I'm taking care of anything, AI would be better managing it for sure.
I don't think your wife would agree with you, but that's okay.
I'm just talking about myself.
No, but as you said, Rawan, even before the AI, the simplest form of algorithm, a friend of mine, an Italian publisher, got married through, I think, OK Cupid, something like that. They have an algorithm of you answering so many questions, and they find who matches you. And what was amazing, that the person they selected to match her was not the one she selected, but through this whole combination, she found someone and she married and she has kids now. And she married, I mean, and she wasn't also not young at that age, not old, but not young. I mean, over 30 something, trying all this way to find the right one. And it seems that this algorithm kind of knows what you like or what suits you, which is impossible, I think, for a woman.
Every culture had its matchmakers. I mean,
yeah, but I
matchmakers have been
mean, not
around
the
forever.
normal way. It goes more into you, and it knows more about you, I think, than you know, because they do some psychoanalysis then or something like that, that they know how you
I don't think I
function or
want
what you
anybody
do.
to know more about me.
Exactly.
My information is all over the internet, probably on the dark internet as well, being sold at the moment.
That's true.
No, they know the dark side. They know the dark side of us. Not what we know.
I mean,
They
you're
know
right,
more.
though, Rowan. I mean, I mean, you won't even have a phone near you. Nothing. No. And then you'll be talking to a friend about something, and then next thing you know, there's commercials for it on.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Anyone about it?
100%.
That's spooky.
I remember when this was not very long ago, but this was around 2009 when I was living in London. There was some ad campaign for the NatWest Bank. I think it was NatWest Bank, and they had these Wi-Fi pods around the city, and there were screens, and basically every time you'd pass by, it would show you an ad, right? That was in 2009. It would show you an ad, and it was creepy because you'd look at the ad and you're like, oh, I just went to that store, or I just Googled it, and that was in 2009. So imagine now, like, how much smarter these things catch up on everything around, and all the things that you touch, and I don't even know, spyware stuff.
So let's talk about selling books.
Yeah.
Millions and millions and billions of books being sold every day. I can't believe it. Everybody's buying books online all the time. Maybe that's going to.
Yeah, it is like with publishing. I was thinking about this the other day, because I work with a lot of friends as well in movies and music. Everyone refers to their publishing as publishing now, in all categories. I feel like it needs to be changed for us to book publishing or story publishing, so that it's distinguished. Because I was with my friend, I'm like, that works in Google. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, I'm a publisher. I'm like, what publisher? So I was thinking about that the other day.
I get a lot of things on LinkedIn where they say that I'm a publisher and do you want CPA, CPS, DPA or something, PPT or something. And I reply to them, I'm not that kind of publisher. I'm a book publisher. I'm not your sort of publisher.
Or the original. We could call ourselves the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's time to use it to copyright the word, add something to it, so that it's to do with book publishing.
But actually, what I always say, that we're not any more book publisher, we're more of a content publisher.
That's
because
true.
what we do is I mean, now when you publish, you think of Netflix as well, and you think of games maybe, or you think of stuff like that. So it doesn't end at books anymore. It just starts there. And I think with the cinema and the entertainment industry is gonna be so much dependent on books now, because the way they write stuff, they really need, like Netflix, they love to have something based on a book, and actually it can go very, very far from the book. But the idea that this episode or this series or this movie is based on a book.
But still,
What do you think, Sylvia?
we have to stand for books, because I don't know your experience, but the experience that I have with all my friends, which are usually my real friends, are really cultivated, I can say, okay, is that nobody is reading any more books, because in Italy we are the worst country in Europe, apart Greece, for reading. Of course, we sold a lot more, but of what? Of horrible stuff. I mean, just something that you don't call books, really. So I feel that the problem of contents and the problem of materiality also, because if you read a book, you underline that, start to go back to the origins, it wouldn't be so bad. And I feel that now there is a trend now about nature, eco-sustainability, the beauty of life, the sobriety, the good food, etc. While I'm very fascinated by artificial intelligence, etc. But on the other way, there is this new trend, I feel, and I hope it will be like that. But children and parents, they want to have children be back to books, to materiality, to have the experience which is real. Otherwise, because so what you say, Sharif, is quite challenging. I mean, it's something that we have to put boundaries, but the problem is not to put boundaries. The problem is a culture, an idea that you feel that the materiality is something interesting. To have a real kiss is much better than to have a virtual kiss.
So I saw one of the messages where Gigi from US, from New York, she said that I tell people I'm a bookie, and I just replied to her that bookie in India means totally different. Bookie here means gambler. Yeah. So if I go and tell people that I'm a bookie, that will be very different.
No, it's a very interesting subject. I feel like I understand what Sylvia is saying totally, and I love books, and I can never imagine myself without. But I feel if I'm not a publisher myself, but you know, as a business owner, you need to adapt. If you don't, I mean, it depends at the end. What do you want, right? Like,
right.
You want to keep books. You want it to still, you know, you don't want the world to move to virtual reality and digital. But at the end of the day, you need to have a survival mode for your business, and that, you know, the only way to do is to adapt to what the other generations are doing. You always have to look like 10 years down and see what they're doing. And, you know, 10 years down the line, do they really care if they're reading a book, you know, on the screen, on a piece of paper? And like you said, probably will become more environmentally, what's the word, conscious and green, and, you know, have to adapt. I guess I don't think there's like any way out of it. There used to be that.
You know what? I agree. I agree that we have to look at it, and we can't pretend that it won't happen. I think what we have to do is actually even be more careful. I look at what we've done with social media and how some individuals or some companies have taken over social media and now have the upper hand on what's happening. And I think if we as an industry, I think we've always been sensitive to the fact that our main purpose is ensuring that communication travels from one point to another, be it digital or whatever. So I think we have to be even more involved. We have to be even more in tune so that somebody else who has bad intentions doesn't take over. That's key.
100%.
Hey, I'd like to share a beautiful story I just had last week. I was talking about some young adult book with a bit of sexual content inside with someone from how to say, very conservative country with autocratic system and blah, blah, blah. And so they really wanted to buy rights for their book. And I warned them that maybe they would have some problems. But then I got a fantastic response. I don't want to share names, not important, but I was really happy to hear that, because they said to me, look, we are living in a very conservative environment. So if we are not brave enough to introduce to people what freedom is, what in multi-cultural diversity is, and so on, who else would do that? So we will try with this book. I was completely surprised, because I have to say that in last months I had several issues like that with several countries, and I said to myself, Jesus, we are getting more and more conservative. We just don't have we have to delete all sex from our books. We have to take care if there is 15 years old or 18 years old. No politics. All women have to be like that. All men have to be like that. So I was getting a bit really. So last week after this meeting, I felt better. I have to say that. So I'm happy that we will be more and more aware of this all around the world, that we publishers are kind of very important opinion makers now.
Yeah.
So before, I'll put an open question in front of everyone, and it's not from me, it's from Elise, and she's asking, is it still about content and quality, not about formats being a publisher? I mean, I think it's a very pertinent question, and anybody who wants to pitch in, please go ahead.
I had first a comment about this, how reserved or how people, conservative people, because we have this in the Middle East or Arab world or Egypt. It's the problem, maybe if Egypt allows things, they are not allowed in the Gulf, then you lose a market. And instead of things opening, actually things are closing now more in this area, this era that we live in. So you have now censorship in UAE, censorship in Saudi still. I mean, they try to say they don't, but in Kuwait, they canceled it, but it's there still. They canceled it on paper, but it's still there. Meanwhile, if you go for Netflix, which is an open platform, you'll find all the porn stuff is more watched, all the plus 18 stuff is more watched by the Arab people, and they consume it like hell, but they don't buy the book, or they have problem if they read a sex scene in the book. And sometimes it's really ridiculous. We had crazy stories of 3 lines only in a book. We don't censor our books unless there's something huge, and we don't do this without asking the publisher. And usually if it's like this, we don't publish the book. If it's like we have to cut part, we don't publish it at all. But we publish things as they are. We try to make it a little bit not as juicy as people would like. We use the upper language of Arabic, so things looks more, not that
classy.
Yeah, you tend to smooth the language to adapt to the environment and the culture without changing anything.
Wait. I've had
that's where my question is. But is it? Hi, Gigi. I'm sorry. So
no, as somebody who's published from Arabic to English, I can tell you we've had to add in more what has been taken out of Arabic books just to appeal to add to the appeal to the American audience.
But
so that's my question. That's my question. That sensuality, or maybe porn, or maybe more of attractiveness. Is it something which is blocking, or it's something else also? I mean, my question is just only porn we are talking about? It's just only sensational stuff we are talking about, or we are talking
it's sensuality. It's sensuality that
sensuality.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I want to tell you guys something. Sorry, did I interrupt anyone? I can't see.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, So a few years ago, we were dealing with our National Media Council in the UAE. So we were lobbying for like less censorship. We wanted to understand what basis they were censoring on. We wanted to understand the procedure, basically. So we had a meeting with, you know, our association with the National Media Council, and we said to them, show us the list of, you know, the material that you censor. What's the process that the book goes through? You know, the book comes, explain to us. So they said to us, well, we have 3 people sat in this office, and the books come through, and they have a list of words that they check. So if it says, for instance, I don't know, sex, or it says, you know, the F word, or it says, you know, they open the book, they flip, there's a word there, put it aside, out, censored. Right. So it's actually like, what I was trying to get at is that the people doing the job that they've been, that little mini department that's looking at these books, they're not people that have been trained. They're not people who most of the time even speak the language that they're reading. They're given a list of words and they're saying, look at this book, put it aside if it has this word. And I had the displeasure of going and meeting them. And you do not want to know, like, the quality of people that were handling, like they were responsible for every single book coming into the UAE. 3 people in a tiny office with a stack of books that they don't even return, right? They just put them aside. They don't even return them back to the publishers. And that's when we discovered, you know, the country, you know, they put the what do you call them? خطوط العريضة. How do you say?
Bullet points.
You know, yeah, the values, the general ones. But then you delegate it to a department and you say, deal with it, right?
I know something which I've learned today. I learned today that you can also have displeasure of meeting someone. That's what I'm gonna use from this day onwards.
The displeasure.
Of
Yeah,
meeting
so
people. Yeah.
it's actually, yeah, it's the whole ecosystem is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, you can say, oh, this country has horrible censorship laws. And then you go and you sit with the Minister of Culture and he said, well, I have no problem with this book. You know, actually, I don't, you know, it's a great book. Yeah.
But what do you do about it? Ravan, what do you do about it?
You lobby. So as a publishers association, we try and speak with the government. We try and, you know, work with them so that they can understand what our job is and what their part is. That's a big part of our job as an association, at least as a publishers.
But in the UAE, do you need to get permission before publishing? Because, for instance, you published Handmaid's Tale, which is like really, really hardcore stuff. So how could you get away with this?
It didn't go down without a fight. Like, I mean, you have to keep pushing. That wasn't the book that, you know, that Handmaid's Tale came after a lot of fights, let's say, just fights like, oh, this book is stuck there. Why is it stuck there? Because it contains X words. But have you read the book? No. Okay, it's just that sort of thing over and over and over again until you make friends with them, basically. And you say, you know, please, like, be good. Please come to us if you have any questions. Let us.
Did Handmaid's Tale get censored though? Did it get edited?
No.
Oh, so it went in
people
full.
who are more zealous than the actual laws.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the U.S. is a good example as well. I mean, I publish children's books, and I know that some children's books have to be censored to a certain point because it doesn't fit the conventions of the, you know, the publishers say, I'm not going to sell it into that market. And that's sort of a,
I had a file which was really funny in 2004, I think. There was a huge tender by the US government, millions of dollars, to buy children's book in Egypt. And they sent a file of, they called it culture sensitivity. It was so funny of how
There's another word for political correctness.
Yeah, it was like how a family should react and how much money they should get, even like for this, and what do they they don't eat this and they don't eat that and they don't kiss, and men can kiss but women don't men and women don't kiss, and I do this to the child but not that. When you read it, and I mean, I come from the culture that they're supposed to say this about us, and kind of true but not true. And I mean, are we like this? Do you really see us like we have to act in this way, and women don't go to the sea with swimsuits, they have to go like all covered up? Or there was a lot of details of even how much money per day is the per diem for a child, and that was like really weird that someone would put this on you, or the way they see you. But at the end of the day, there are, as you said, they put some guidelines, and you have to follow if you want to be part of this,
or lobby to change them.
Yeah, so, that's the way. I totally agree.
Yeah, that's offensive. It's supposed to go under offensive.
Yeah. When I say wow, when I hear this, it's not because I'm very astonished that is happening there. It's because this is something which we go through. We say that we see a lot of similarities. And Sanya just left. Bye, Sanya, when you watch this. And hi, Gigi. Gigi. Bring it on, man.
I'm here.
There's I'm thinking about the Western Canadian provinces. I used to be a teacher, and then I was in school publishing, and we had a series of paintings. I mean, Picasso and Monet and all that. And there was kits that we would sell into schools. And in Western Canada, in one of the provinces, I won't name that province, but there was a Colville, a great Canadian painter, and it's a very dark dog and a child putting his hand on the dog. And the child is, I don't know, a toddler. He's 2 years old, and you see him only from the back, and you see his bum. You know, he's naked, right? And the artist was basically painting his son and the dog. Well, that wasn't allowed to get into the schools because that was offensive. And you're thinking, great painters are offensive in those countries, in those parts of the world. I think we have a lot of pointing of the finger towards certain countries and certain cultures, and we tend to forget that we sometimes aren't any better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I think we crossed 1.5 hours, and
you're tired.
Yeah, I'm. So I'm not tired. I'm more drunk. So I want to basically call it a day.
Ramadan Kareem.
Yeah.
Well,
Hashtag Ramadan, astaghfirullah.
Astaghfirullah. But yeah,
hey guys.
But yeah, this has been great, and thank you so much for joining us.
Everyone.
Don't go
Right.
before I close.
So this is
wait.
so now we're officially starting year 2.
Yeah.
We're officially starting year 2, right?
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2.
All right.
Don't go anywhere.
See you
Don't go anywhere.
guys.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Please understand that we have not been able to do more live shows because I think we have gone more live. Everybody has gone live back to normal, but not everywhere. But then Publishers Without Border is your own platform. If you want to do any sessions, you can just reach out to us. Tell us that you want to basically go live on PWB, and PWB is yours, not ours. It's not Simon's, it's not Fatima's, it's not Emma's, it's not mine at all. It's not mine at all.
Prashant, how are you guys in India? Because we just got news this morning in the US that we're sending help over to you all in India.
Oh, you're so late.
Terrible.
We talked about that 2 hours ago.
It's
okay, but I'm here now. Now the party started.
but
He's drunk.
He
won't tell you the truth.
It's terrible. It's horrible. People are dying.
Well, yeah, they just told us that we're sending over people to you guys now, so we have to.
Come on, we don't need people. If you want people, you take it from us. No, we don't want people.
Yeah, they put it in our news this morning that they're sending over.
Keep your
sending
doctors with
troops.
you. We can send you more eligible doctors.
I know who's gonna read out. Who's gonna take care of us?
Send us the medicine. Send us the oxygen.
Yeah, who's
whatever
gonna
you
read it?
can.
No, they just want you guys just want our vaccines. You know, the other day on LinkedIn, somebody sent me a message. Hello, how are you? Have you been vaccinated yet? I said, but that's kind of personal. How do you ask me a question like that? And I don't know you, but that's something that came from your neck of the woods.
Well, we love to invade your personal space. We can even ask what your credit score and do you want a credit from us?
Oh, okay.
We can even ask we can even ask money to pay back, and we are everywhere. So
Okay,
So could it be those, those meeting places on the phone? It'll be, are you vaccinated or not? That'll be the first question,
That's the big pickup line. That's the new pickup line.
Are
Hey,
you
baby, have
vaccinated?
you been vaccinated yet?
My
vax or your vax?
Hey, listen, if you're not vaxxed, you can get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And really, my name is not
the new
Shyam.
term
My
of
name
shoot
is
your shot.
Hey, my name is not Shyam. My name is Sam.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
can shoot your shot.
I'm off.
Hey, Simon, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Grazie,
Ciao.
Grazie a tutti. Ciao. Ciao,
Ciao.
Fatima. Ciao,
Bye bye.
Ciao, Pablo. Ciao, Prashant. Ciao, Ashkai. Ciao.
Ciao tutti.
Hey, Pablo, you can stay. We can talk. Wait.